Episode 1. The Phone Call That Changed Everything. My name is Rachel. I'm 26 years old. Until recently, I believed my childhood was normal. Not perfect, not tragic, just normal. My parents were typical middle-class people. I have an older sister named Olivia. She lives across the country now. We don't talk every day, but we've always been close. My mom's name is Margaret. She's always been distant. I used to think she was just strict, the tough love kind. I didn't realize how wrong I was. Not until that one phone call. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon. I had just finished lunch. My phone buzzed. Olivia was FaceTiming me. That alone felt strange. She never does that without a reason. I answered. Her face looked tired. No makeup, eyes red. She'd been crying. "Hey," I said. "Everything okay?" She hesitated. Took a deep breath. "Rachel, I need to tell you something. I didn't want to, but I can't keep it to myself anymore." My heart sank. "What is it?" She looked away for a second, then back at me. "I had a fight with Mom last week," she said, "and she said something awful." I stayed quiet, just listened. She said, "She never wanted you. She said you were a mistake." Silence. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. She said if it weren't for Dad, you wouldn't be here. My throat tightened. A glass slipped from the counter and clattered into the sink. Didn't break, but the sound jolted me. Maybe she was angry, I asked. People say things when they're mad. No, Olivia said. She wasn't mad, she was calm, cold, like she meant it. We hung up shortly after. She didn't want to hurt me any more than she already had. But it was too late. Something inside me cracked. That night I sat in the dark, no lights, no TV, just silence. My thoughts repeated over and over. She never wanted you. She never wanted you. And suddenly everything made sense. The way she ignored me growing up. How she lit up when Olivia walked in but barely looked my way. How she never hugged me, never said she was proud. I remembered winning 3rd place in a school contest once. I came home so proud, clutching my certificate. She glanced at it and said, "3rd place, your sister got 1st. Then she walked away. I was 10. I never forgot that day. But I buried it. Told myself she was just strict, just wanted more from me. But now, I knew the truth. She didn't want me. She never did. Later that night, I scrolled Reddit, looking for stories, anything that might make me feel less alone. I found a thread, people sharing their own trauma, stories of cold mothers, of never being loved, of growing up invisible. And for the first time, I didn't feel crazy. I wasn't alone. I opened my journal, wrote one sentence. Maybe my mom never loved me, but I will learn to love myself. For the little girl she never chose. And I meant it. Episode 2, The Silent Childhood. After that call with Olivia, my mind wouldn't stop racing. I started remembering things, not just moments, but patterns, feelings. Growing up, there was always a distance between me and Mom, like an invisible wall, like I was living in a house I didn't quite belong to. She never yelled, she wasn't violent, but the silence, that was worse. She never said I love you, not once. I used to tell myself she just wasn't an affectionate person. Some moms are like that, right? But Olivia got bedtime hugs, kisses on the forehead, long talks in the kitchen. I got a pat on the back. Instructions. Silence. One night when I was 7, I had a nightmare. I remember running to her room, heart-pounding, tears in my eyes. She didn't even open her eyes. "Go back to bed, Rachel. You're fine." That was it. No hug, no reassurance, just cold words in the dark. After that, I stopped asking. At school, I tried to be good. I followed rules, I made friends, I smiled, I got decent grades. But no matter what I did, nothing ever seemed good enough at home. If I got a B, she asked why it wasn't an A. If I did something right, it was expected. If I messed up well, then I got the stare. That cold, disappointed stare that made me want to disappear. I started shrinking myself. Stopped sharing things. Stopped trying to be seen. Because every time I reached out, I felt slapped down. Not physically, emotionally. Like I was a burden she never asked for. Dad, on the other hand, he tried. He was quiet too, but warmer. He'd sneak me little treats when Mom wasn't looking. Slip me $5 before a school trip. He was the reason birthdays happened. The reason there was cake. He didn't say much, but when he smiled, I knew it was real. Sometimes I wonder if he knew. If he knew how she treated me differently. if he tried to make up for it in his own quiet way. When he passed away, I was 16, and everything got worse. Without him, Mom didn't hide it anymore. She didn't even pretend. There were whole days she wouldn't speak to me. Not out of anger, just absence. Like I wasn't even there. She still praised Olivia, still called her my bright one, still sent her care packages in college, still lit up when she called. Me, I got silence. Cold meals, short texts, nothing more. By then, I'd learned not to expect anything. And that was maybe the saddest part of all. Looking back now, I don't know how I convinced myself it was normal. I think when you grow up inside something, you don't realize how wrong it is. You just adapt. You shrink. You hide. You survive. But now, as an adult, I finally see it for what it was. It wasn't just distance. It wasn't just personality. It was rejection. From the very person who should have held me close. And I'm tired of pretending it didn't shape me. Because it did. Episode 3, Cracks in the Mirror. When I was a teenager, I used to look in the mirror and wonder, what's wrong with me? Was I too quiet, too sensitive, too needy? Because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get my mom to look at me the way she looked at Olivia. Not with love, not even with kindness, just cold eyes, blank. I started believing I was the problem. I remember one day in high school, I stayed late to help decorate for a school dance. I was proud, happy. When I got home, I told Mom about it. She barely looked up from her phone. You spend more time at school than at home. Maybe you should focus more on your grades. That was it. No, that's great. No, I'm proud of you. Just a jab, a reminder that I still wasn't enough. So I worked harder. I tried to earn her love like it was a prize. But every achievement felt like screaming into a void. Graduated with honors. Nothing, won an art contest. Barely a nod. Even on my birthday, she'd forget. Or pretend to forget. And every time I told myself it was okay. Because if I admitted the truth that my own mother didn't care, I don't think I could have handled it. But now I'm starting to see it for what it was. I'm starting to see her clearly. And I'm starting to see myself too. Not as broken, not as invisible, but as someone who deserved better. A few nights ago, I had a dream. I was back in my childhood home, 10 years old, holding that third-place certificate again. But this time, instead of handing it to Mom, I handed it to myself. Little Rachel. She looked up at me nervous, scared, and I smiled, held her hand. You did amazing, I told her. I'm so proud of you. And for the first time, she believed it. I woke up in tears, but not from sadness, from release. Healing isn't clean, it's not fast. But it starts when you stop blaming yourself, when you stop asking why you weren't loved and start loving yourself instead. I don't have all the answers yet. But I do know this, I am not the words she didn't say. I am not the love she withheld. I am not the silence. I am me, and I am still here. Episode 4. The confrontation. I had spent weeks going in circles, thinking about everything Olivia told me, everything I remembered, everything I buried. And then one morning, I looked in the mirror, and I didn't see fear. I saw a woman who deserved answers. I called my mom. She picked up after the third ring. Rachel. Her voice was dry, neutral, as always. Can I come over? I want to talk. There was a pause. Is everything okay? She asked. I almost laughed. That question from her. I just need to talk, I said. Please. She agreed. Driving to her house felt surreal. The same driveway I used to ride my bike on. The same porch where I sat waiting for her to notice me. Now I was walking up to that same door. But not as a daughter desperate for love. As a woman looking for truth. She opened the door, still in her usual cardigan. Hair pinned up, calm, collected. She didn't hug me. I didn't expect her to. We sat at the kitchen table, the same one where she used to serve Olivia pancakes, where I was told to eat quietly. I looked at her. She didn't smile. She never did. I talked to Olivia, I began. A flicker in her eyes, but she stayed silent. She told me what you said, about me, about never wanting me. Still nothing. Is it true? She looked away, folded her hands. I was young, she said. It wasn't the right time. Your father insisted. And I tried. I really did. There it was, the truth, and not even hidden, not denied. Just stated like a fact. You never loved me, I said. Not a question, a fact I already knew. She didn't argue. I did what I could, she said. I laughed. What you could? You ignored me. You praised Olivia. You froze me out of your life for years. Still calm, still cold. You were always sensitive, she said. Always needing too much. That hit me. But I didn't break. You're right, I said. I needed love. I needed a mother. Silence. I'm not here to change the past, I said. I'm here to tell you that it hurt. That I'm done pretending I was okay. She looked at me, for the first time in years, really looked. And yet, there was no apology. Just a woman who couldn't give what she never had. I stood up. Goodbye, Mom. She didn't stop me. Walking out of that house, I felt light. Not because I got closure, not because she said sorry, but because I faced her. Because I said what needed to be said. Because I no longer needed her approval to heal. That little girl inside me, the one waiting for her mother's love, she was finally walking away. With me. Episode 5. The beginning of me. It's been 3 weeks since I walked out of my mother's house. 3 weeks since I let go of the need to be chosen by her. 3 weeks since I finally said the truth out loud. And in those 3 weeks, something has shifted. I wake up lighter, I breathe deeper, I feel new. Not healed, not fully, but healing. I started therapy. For the first time in my life, I sat across from someone who didn't interrupt me, who didn't minimize my feelings, who simply said, "That wasn't your fault." And I cried, hard, ugly, but it was the kind of crying that felt like peeling off old skin, like uncovering something soft and alive underneath all the numb. I also started journaling again. Every morning I write to the little girl I used to be. I see you. You mattered. You were never too much. And the more I write, the more I realize I'm not just talking to her. I'm talking to me, right now. Because it's not just about surviving her rejection. It's about learning how to love myself without waiting for permission. I stopped chasing people who made me feel small, stopped apologizing for having needs, stopped measuring my worth in how much space I could shrink into. Now I take up space. I laugh louder. I say no when I need to. I say yes to the things that bring me peace. Olivia and I talk more now. We're closer than ever. She's healing too in her own way. And for the first time, we're not pretending anymore. We're honest, raw, real. We've even talked about visiting Dad's grave together, to say thank you for being the only light in a cold house. As for my mother, I don't know what her story is. I don't know what broke her or why she couldn't love me the way I needed. But I've stopped needing the answer, stopped needing her to become someone she isn't. Because I'm no longer looking back hoping for a different past. I'm looking forward to a future I get to build. One where I am seen, valued, held by myself. This is the beginning of me, not the daughter she never wanted, not the shadow in Olivia's light. Me, whole, worthy, alive. This is the beginning of me, not the daughter she never wanted, not the shadow in Olivia's light. Me, whole, worthy, alive. And if this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt unseen, unheard, unloved, you're not alone. There are more stories like this, more voices waiting to be heard. So if you'd like to join this journey of healing truth and reclaiming who we are, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share this with someone who needs it. Let's keep telling stories that matter, together.